Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I know I'm about 10 minutes early and I apologize for that. I'm actually in transit on my way to Edmonton. And so I had to pull over at the information center where I can get some free Wi-Fi. And so I thought, okay, you know what? Before I get into a zone of no internet and can't even do this at all, let's just pull over and get this content out there because I'm actually very excited to share with you on today's episode of Money Matters. Before I get into that, I'm your host, Hung Lu. I'm with Cash Property. And today we're actually going to talk about my eightplex build where we're leaving in about 150,000 and that's going to turn into 2.3 million and then how that's going to turn into infinite return in no time flat. So we're going to get into that. But before I do get into that, it's a bit of a spoiler alert because the content that I'm going to share with you today is actually going to be talked about at the AREA event on Wednesday. So if you happen to be in the Edmonton area and if you can attend, then this is going to be a great place to network with other real estate investors, but also to hear about some of the learnings that we've had on this particular project, some of the untold truths that people don't really verbalize and tell you about these infill projects that are happening right now. So that's the one event that's happening this Wednesday. So if you're in Edmonton, take advantage of that. The other thing that's also happening in Edmonton is this networking event on Tuesday night. So that's tomorrow coming up. And you're going to opportunity to meet 5 other amazing co-authors from Rising Above the Rest. There's going to be wine and cheese, some networking, and that's all happening in Edmonton. So if you are there, come and join us. Okay, so those are the 2 events that are happening. So now let me share with you the Excel sheet. Now, like I said, these projects that I'm working on, they may not be the right type of projects for you. So before you go and, run out and do your own infill project, especially in Edmonton, just make sure that the numbers work for you. Okay, so let's jump right into this because when I did this numbers, so I started these numbers in like 2 years ago, and it just did not make sense. But now running the numbers one more time, I'm going to share with you how I'm going to be putting in an investment of about 154,000 and how that investment is going to turn into $2.3 million. Okay, so pretty much once I convert the infill project into an eightplex, I'm going to have to leave in about $154,000. This is the equity that I'm going to be required to leave in. Okay, so that at the end of the day is my equity, my cash left in the project. So that's my overall investment. The appraised value of this building is $2.3 million. Now, the building isn't finished yet. So there's an inherent risk there that maybe in about 10 months when we're done building out, it won't be worth 2.3 million. But let's just say it's going to be valued at 2.3. Okay, so everything's good there. So that means that in 2 years, because we're going to be finished building by next March 2026, that is an ROI gain of 1,487%. That's massive. Okay, and to get that number, what I did was I just took my 2.3 divided by 154,000. Now, of course, I'm not going to see that 2.3 million for 50 years. Okay, but that is the potential return that I would have from this because the tenants are going to pay down that mortgage for me. Okay, and I'm just going to leave 154 and just sort of ride it through for the next 50 years. Okay, so now the interesting thing is, well, in 50 years, this property isn't just going to be worth 2.3 million. It's going to go up and appreciate year over year, assuming that we have appreciation year over year. So I've put in an Excel formula to calculate the future value. And I've used a 3% year over year appreciation gain. So with this calculation, I'm not even calculating the cash flow and I'm not even calculating the mortgage pay down yet. I'm only just calculating based on the appreciation of 3%. How much is this building going to be worth in 50 years? Okay, so it's going to be worth $10 million, which is insane. So when this calculated out, I was like, no, that can't be right. So I actually manually calculated out 3% gain every single year, compounding that over a 50-year time frame. So that's what this spreadsheet over here is. So in 50 years, this is the number, $10 million, okay? So that's how easy it is to use Excel to manually calculate appreciation out. So this formula here is just negative VF, which is the future value, and then you want to put in your rate, your future value, your number of payments, and your type, and the number of years, the amortization, and that will spit out for you your future value. Okay, so the gain that I'm going to see over 50 years, the ROI gain is 6,500%. Okay, now, of course, that's a great return, but over 50 years, you want to sort of break that down by year. So the annual return per year is 130%, which is insane. Okay, now, of course, I don't see that money in my pocket today. So it's unrealistic to say, hey, you know what, the returns are 130%. But what I do know is that with 154,000 left in at the end of March 2026, well, in 5 years, I'm going to be able to refinance this property anyways, okay, with another mortgage and extend the mortgage out. Well, in 5 years, I'm going to be able to pull out whatever equity I have built into that property. So in 5 years, if I look at this number here, the future value of this building is going to be $2.6 million. Okay. Just from this alone, I'm going to be able to pull out my $154,000. Okay. So what that tells me is that in 5 years, once I pull out all of my cash, the 154,000, at that point, it doesn't matter what the ROI per year calculation shows, because at that point, it's infinite return. I have no money left in the game. The tenants are paying the rents to pay for the mortgage. There's some cash flow, even though a little bit, and then the appreciation. Okay, so that is today's very quick calculation on these 8-plex infill projects in Edmonton. Now, this can also be applied to any project that you're doing infill across Canada, as long as you can get the appraisal to come in positive more than what you've put into build. The amount of money left in is less than what you've had to invest in. So the equity portion that you have to leave in is a small portion of what you actually have to pay out to get your future complete value. And that you will, and as long as you always see some sort of positive annual appreciation. Okay, so if you want more information on this, the best thing to do is really come out to the AREA meeting on Wednesday, where I will go through all the numbers and explain how we acquired the land, how we got the builder, and how we're going through the financing to get to eventually infinite return on this property in 5 years. All right, so my name is Huong Lu. Thank you for watching, and I will see everybody next Monday. Thank you and have a great day, everybody.